Bring in our guest on the program today, John Mobley, to talk a little bit about this. John, tell me, if you were Laura Hogue and you're doing that argument in front of the jury and someone is sleeping right in front of you, do you do what she did and just keep on arguing and then tell the judge after the fact? Or do you take a pause and say, Your Honor, could we please wake up the sleeping beauty there in the box?
I've actually had that happen to me in the trial before, and I did exactly what she did. Continue with my argument, and later on actually requested the court to make an inquiry to that specific juror. Case law on point in my particular state there is, requires the court to make an inquiry whether or not the juror was asleep, whether or not they missed any testimony. I think it's a bigger deal if they missed testimony versus arguing the attorney's opinion. But I think that's the appropriate remedy to bring the individual juror in, and the court requests the juror and asks them whether or not they're sleeping. The juror might say, no, I'm just closing my eyes, but I heard everything. You know, I didn't miss anything. And I think that normally kind of ends the inquiry.
Right. You know, that's a tricky one. And, you know, advocacy is an art. It's not an exact science. I was asked during the break, what would I do? And I likely would have paused. I mean, if she was really snoozing, to me, there's a difference between those jurors who look a little tired, look like they're fighting the tiredness. That happens. There are long days in the courtroom. But if she is really out like a light, then I probably would, take a moment, see if there could be a pause. But that's awkward, right? You don't want to have to do that because your momentum's going. You want to keep closing. And so at the end of the day, the judge is not going to remove her. At least we didn't see any indication of that. The prosecutor, you saw her, John, she really stood up and said she didn't see that at all happening. So the record was made.
And actually, I think you made an excellent point about her momentum because, I mean, her closing argument was masterful. I mean, she was hitting on all cylinders regarding the points she was making, regarding her delivery. I mean, I think it would have been a disadvantage or a bad idea to stop in the middle to deal with that. I mean, her closing argument was amazing. She hit on so many great points. You know, early on, she talked about the safe community and neighbors looking out for each other. She laid that foundation. She acknowledged that Arbery's death was a tragedy. She really did a great job of pointing out details of his conduct that were problematic, not attacking him. And that's very, very difficult in a case like that. I mean, she talked about the opinions they would hear about the case, and she really did a great job, I thought, of increasing the chance of getting a hung jury by stressing the jury they shouldn't really compromise or change their opinions to hold on to their conviction. So I don't think she wanted to slow that down to address something like that.
Tell me something, it was jumping out at me. I'm sure it was jumping out to many of our wonderful viewers at home. In this day and age, jurors expect technology. And I say this all the time on the show. It's true. I teach this when I teach lawyers how to try cases. They want to see technology. We're in the year 2021. I can't even hearken back to the last time I saw someone taking an easel, with a really large pieces of white paper, and every time she was kind of struggling to turn the paper over and someone took the time to write all that out for her. John, did that jump out at you as to why it wasn't a PowerPoint, a little easier?
It jumped out at me big time, and I hate to beat up on lawyers that use exhibits. Hey, at least you use some exhibits, but yeah, PowerPoint. And everybody knows how to use it. If not, your paralegal knows how to use it to hire somebody. But yes, standing there using the old, page where you kind of flip them back and forth, and they're, they're folding over and they're dropping and covering things up, and you need help. I mean, I just think that's something she could have really practiced more of. There's no doubt about it. I agree with you on that.